Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Are you tired of hitting trees left and right at your local course? Well, I might just have a tip for you that'll help you carve up the woods. Let's go. Hey guys, if you're like me and you play in the woods, you're gonna hit trees. That's just part of the game. But I might have a tip for you that's gonna help you hit less trees and hit those gaps just like you want to. It's got to do with flippy discs. If you've been watching my channel before, I talk about taking a flippy disc and put it on a hyzer quite a bit. Well, that's what we're gonna do today. I've got a collection of some understable discs. We're gonna take them out to the woods. We're gonna put them on a hyzer and try to hit these gaps. Now, the main idea of putting a flippy disc on a hyzer, it's kind of like the idea of getting a mattress in your house. When you're going through that front door, you can't take the mattress this way. It's not gonna fit. The best way of doing it is flipping it up like this, and you can get it in on an angle or upright. Well, that's the same idea with taking a flippy disc. You got a gap like this. If you're gonna throw it dead flat, that's gonna give you less wiggle room. Whereas if you're able to put it more on a hyzer like this, you got more room to work with, and there's definitely more room for error. So you got a little bit more wiggle room. And the reason why we do it with a flippy disc is because we want the disc to end up going straight eventually. So a flippy disc or an understable disc, when you throw it on a hyzer hard enough, it's gonna stand up to flat eventually. Well, enough talking about it. Let's go practice. But before we practice on some tight gaps like this, let's go to a wider gap first to build our confidence up. So this is a nice little tight window, but we still got about a 20-foot gap up there, which in the Carolinas is a pretty wide gap. Now, to hit this tunnel, what we're gonna work on is we're gonna work on taking a flippy mid-range, putting it on a hyzer, and see if we can hit that window every single time. Now, I've got 3 discs here. These are my favorite: Paradox, Mana, and then we got the new Glow Lobster. They're all a little bit different flippy, but the main idea is we're gonna put it on a nice hyzer like this, get through that window on an angle, and then it's gonna flip up just in time to end up super straight. We're gonna kind of build up our confidence with a wider window like this, and then we'll go back and tackle that tight window. All right, let's start with the Mana. There we go. All right, it didn't finish like we wanted it to, but we hit that gap. So that's a moral victory at this point. Just picked up this sweet, brand new Glow Lobster. Can't wait to test this out. Let's see how flippy she is. There we go. Slight high, oh, get in the basket. Okay, first throw, ace run with that thing. That's a good start. So the main idea is don't beat yourself up. Okay, it's gonna take a lot of practice, especially when you're working on these angles. So take a stack of flippy mid-ranges, find a gap that's about, 20 feet away. It's just enough that it's gonna be frustrating when you don't hit it, but wide enough that you should be able to hit it, I'd say at least 50% of the time. Once you get to the point where you feel like you can hit that gap a majority of the time, then we can progress to a tighter gap, which is what we're gonna do right now. All right, now this is more of a North Carolina gap right here. Now we're talking, we got about a 10-foot gap or less. So let's take those flippy discs, put them on a hyzer. We're gonna start with one of my favorite ones, Paradox. This is in the soft plastic too, which I gotta say, one of my faves for sure. Oh, inches from being perfect. Don't let it get you down though. Let's try again. All right, Lobster and Eternal Plastic. Really digging this one. There it is. And then it feels so good to pure that gap. Now, once it gets through this initial gap, I'm not really worried about where it ends up. Our goal, get through that gap. All right, now let's go with my Mana. Flippy disc, put it on a hyzer. Love it all day long. That is beautiful, perfect shot. Nice Glow Lobster here. Yes. All right, guys, this has got to be one of the hardest things to do in disc golf, to pipe a tunnel like this. Flippy disc on a hyzer, I guarantee it's going to help you. All right, now we're going to take a look at one more shot real quick that's kind of the opposite of a Hyzer-Flip. Now that is the Anhyzer-Flex shot. Now to be able to do that, you need the opposite. You need an overstable disc. So I've got the Pyro here. Got a couple cruxes, and then I've also got a nice glow taco here. So the idea here is instead of putting it on an angle like this, we're gonna do the opposite angle. So we're gonna put it on an angle like that. So we're taking that mattress through the doorway. Instead of going this way, we're gonna go that way. Now the reason why we're doing it with an overstable disc is because we're gonna hit that gap like this, and then it's gonna flatten out just like the opposite of a Hyzer-Flip. And then if it's overstable enough, it'll end up to the left. Now on this hole, that's actually kind of key because the basket's actually to the left. All right, got this brand new glow taco here. Let's see how she does. There we go, hit the gap, ends up to the left, perfect. When you put a overstable disc on an Anhyzer, it's gonna move to the right, flatten out, move to the left, which is what this fairway is doing. All right, let's try the new crux from Thought Space. There we go, hit the gap, ends up to the left. Nebula Aura crux, perfect. And then lastly, all-time favorite, Plasma Pyro. Oh, got the tree with it. I think I jinxed that one. Well, on this particular gap, the Aura Mana on a Hyzer-Flip was the one that got the closest to the basket, but second closest was this glow taco. So either way you can go, I'd say practice both of these shots. I'd highly recommend practicing that Hyzer-Flip shot first. Get used to throwing a flippy disc on a Hyzer, hit the gap, see where it ends up. Don't get too down on yourself. Hitting trees is just part of the game. And then once you master that, get some overstable discs, try working that opposite angle. Anhyzer-Flex shot. These two shots are gonna save you some strokes in the woods. All right, guys, if you're looking to get some manas, some tacos, some cruxes, who knows, head on over to Disc Golf Deals USA. Use my code, it'll save you 10%. All right, until I see you guys next time, peace out.